Hello everyone, it's Shauna coming to you live from her craft room in Edmond, Oklahoma. Today is Sunday, October 26, 2025. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Hope you guys are having a fabulous weekend. I'm sad that it's almost over. It's been one of the more relaxing weekends for me, so that's been really nice. I just needed a day to kind of, and I still didn't just chill. I've been busy doing stuff, but just been a little slower paced. I'm going to make sure I am in the right place. If you guys are hopping on, say hi. I also want to make sure you guys can hear me. Yep, okay. So I'm on the right page. You guys can hear me. I'm going to turn on live chat. Sorry about the weird glare. We're going to do some ink blending today. So I've got my glass mat out, which is not great for videoing. We're going to be making this card right here using the Spooky Halloween. We are wrapping up our Halloween series. Today is the last day for Halloween. Can you guys believe Halloween is upon us? It's this coming Friday. Wow. Where does the time go? Okay, before we do that, let's do some housekeeping. Hi, Mom. How are you? Long time no see. All right. Stampin' Up! Offers 3 levels of creativity. I go over this every week, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. We have step-by-step kits. We have the ones that you can get on Stampin'Up.com, and you can see everything that is in these kits, what it exactly makes. And then we also have our Paper Pumpkin, which is our monthly subscription kits. These are kind of a surprise. Every month we get little sneak peeks, so we kind of know what we're making, but we don't see the full thing until it arrives at our door. So if you ever have any questions about either one of these, holler at me and let me know. I love our kits. I know that they are step-by-step instructions, but you don't have to do them that way. You don't have to make them that way. You can go rogue, and I do a lot. I'm really bad at following instructions, it seems like. We also have our quick and easy options, which is our mix and match section of the catalog. They have card bases and envelopes that you can buy, and a stamp set you can get, and then ephemera packs that you can buy, which are basically just die cuts, and they're all made to coordinate. So you can use, in our catalog, we have a page that shows you like different, I'm trying to think of the word, it has escaped me, but like a style, like put this here and this here and this here. It's just kind of a go-to if you need some help jumping off, and you can create your own, or you can make some that are in the catalog that it gives you examples to make. But our mix and match section is really good for those intermediate scrapbookers or card makers that don't own a lot of crafting supplies, and they don't want to. You know, if you just want to sit down with a few supplies at your kitchen table or your coffee table while your family's watching movies, you can still be in the mix of things. You don't have to have a room full of supplies. So level 1 is our kits, which are great for beginners. Level 2 is kind of the intermediate stuff where you can mix and match some stuff together. And then, of course, a lot of our catalog is pretty much anything goes. So again, all of our inks, our card stocks, our blends, they all color coordinate. Our ribbon, our embellishments. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. They all coordinate, so they all look good together. If you ever need help on anything, if you're not sure before you buy something and you have questions, that's what I'm here for. So please holler at me. Speaking of our kits, this is the sneak peek of the current one for the Paper Pumpkin. Again, this is our monthly subscription kit. So it's called Wrapped in Cheer, and you need to have a subscription by November 10th. These are going to make 8 little gift boxes. These are great for gift cards, money. You could put some brownies in there. They do have the like waxy film so that if you do put baked goods in there, the oil's not going to seep through. Now I will say they're not very thick. So whatever you put in there is going to have to be pretty thin. But it does come with a great stamp set, some twine, some tags, and it looks like some real red embellishments that may be cherry cobbler. Then the next sneak peek for November 11th through December 10th, this is called Watercolor in Bloom. So it's going to be floral, it's going to be the blues, it's going to have a watercolor look. Not really sure yet what the customizable sentiment stamp means. If I ever find out before we get them, I'll let you know. And then don't forget, if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get this wonderful die add-on. It's item number 167855. So these tags are for the current one on those little gift card boxes. The florals go with the Watercolor in Bloom next month, and then this Joy was the one that we just got. So again, ever have any questions, holler at me, let me know. So we have 1 week left of our starter kits. Stampin' Up! Is offering a great starter kit. I've never seen one this low. You can get $125 worth of products for only $35. You get free shipping. You get a free one of our kits to try it out. If you've ever thought about doing it, this is the time. Again, I've never seen it this low. And there's no obligation. This is a risk-free trial. If you just want to join it so that you can get the discount for your hobby, for your own personal purchases, that's fine. That's how I started years ago. I didn't try to make a business out of it until about a year and a half ago. So I am totally fine if you want to join my team just for the discount. I do have a team member that does that. I would love to have you on my team, so holler at me, let me know. If you are wanting more than $125 worth of products, they also have this. You get $189 worth of products for $99. If you guys have ever wanted the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, this is the best way to get it, the best price you will ever get it at. So that is an option. So you could get that, and then on your next purchase you could get your dies, some cardstock, and you would have everything that you need. We're going to use a lot of dies today. So again, if you have any questions about the starter kit, let me know. This is our advent calendar. I believe there are still supplies. This is till supplies last. So last time I checked, there were still supplies. It's $99. It's item 167335. This counts down the last 12 days of Christmas. So if you guys know a crafter and you're looking for something to give to them, this is a great Christmas gift. This is not Christmas themed products. This product, I did post a video a few weeks back on my Facebook page if you want to watch it and not be surprised. It is stuff that you can use all season long. It's pastel colors, floral. There's dies in here, there's a stamp, there's paper, there's embellishments, there's ribbon, everything you need to create a card. So this is a great kit. How many of you guys did the craft class last Thursday, October 23rd? Wasn't it great? I love the classes. The virtual classes are great. I'm sure there will be more to come. So I was just curious if anybody who is jumping on has signed up for it and what they thought. Let me know. That's the first one that they've done. And it reminds me of doing like a virtual scrapbooking retreat. So you can talk, you can learn tips, tricks, ideas. There's a lot of information that you can get from that. And then you can also watch it later on. So it's not like a once and done. You've purchased it and you'll have access to it forever. So you don't have to remember everything. You can go back and watch it. Don't forget to be shopping at StampinUp.com. That's the best place to see all the products. Our Last Chance products are on there, which are our discounted products. Our online exclusives, which are products that you can only see online, are on there. Our kits are on there. We do have 2 great catalogs going on, so don't forget about the catalogs. This is the holiday mini that goes through the end of December, and then this is our annual one that goes until April of next year. So again, if you ever have questions, if you have a hard time finding something, let me know. That's why I'm here. I don't want you to forget about some upcoming craft shows. Me and my husband will be at Earthglow Market Saturday, November 8th. It is free admission. It's from 9 to 3. I want to say this is their 35th year, so this market's been around for a long time. The vendors are great. The address is 14343 North MacArthur Boulevard. It's in between Memorial and 150th, or Memorial and 33rd if you know the Edmond Streets, off of MacArthur. So if you're out and about looking for something to do, this is a great one to be. They also have a cafeteria where they're normally doing some foods that you can purchase. So if you want to shop, eat, you can do it all at the same place. And then the next one that we will be doing is December 6th. It's free admission as well. This is at Putnam City North. Their softball team puts it on. It's called North Pole Market. It's from 9 to 4. There's over 100 vendors. There's food trucks. This is their 7th year of having it, and it's a big one. So again, if you guys are out and about, stop by, make sure you say hi. Jason and I would love to see you. We really do appreciate you supporting our small businesses. You make a difference. So the other thing I want to talk about real quick is November's card and scrapbooking class. So you have 1 more week to let me know if you're interested. I need to know by October 31st so that I can put in an order November 1st. Speaking of orders, did you guys take advantage of the free shipping that we had the last 3 days? Whoop whoop! Thank you, Stampin' Up. That was a great birthday present. I love it when I can save. Okay, so November's card and scrapbooking class. Again, you need to let me know by this Friday the 31st. The details are November 15th, the card class from 1 to 3. We'll be making these 3 cards. This kind of does some layering and some die cuts. And this uses the Label Me Grateful, I believe is the name of it, stamp set. This one right here is a little center pop out card, and we do some heat embossing. So die cutting, heat embossing, and then we're going to do ink smushing. These leaves were not patterned paper. This was something that I created with some inks. So some great little cards for Thanksgiving. The cost is $15 or free if you put in a $15 order with me as your demonstrator. So again, if you're local and you're interested, let me know. The scrapbooking class is going to be November 22nd. It's from 1 to 5. We're going to make 3 2-page layouts, so a total of 6 pages. I am using the Weekend Adventures Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. Now, if you buy the workshop kit, you can make these 3 2-page layouts, which are great layouts. So if you want to do this, that's fine. These are step-by-step instructions. It even shows you how to cut your paper, and then it goes through all of the paper, and then it shows you how to lay it down, how to assemble it. It shows you kind of all the measurements as far as where at on the page to put it. So again, if you love step-by-step instructions, these are great scrapbooking workshop kits. I have, however, instead of just making the 6 pages, I actually used this workshop kit for last month's class. We did a camping theme, and this month. So I have actually made 12 pages, 6 2-page layouts. So I have doubled this kit in size. Kind of the way I do that is by doing page titles on my Cricut. So the page title for this one is "The Best Memories Are Made Outdoors." These trees are on my Cricut. It does have some little embellishments. Some of these do have twine on them. This one does not, but there's layout 1. Here is a layout 2. And again, I know I cannot get all of this, the whole thing in there, but there's page 1. Love You More Than Mountain Air, 5 Billion Star Motel. Again, some twine, some embellishments, the Cricut cuts. Here is page 2. Mountain air runs through my veins. Let's sleep under the stars. Explore. Little journaling. These are great for, you could do camping still if you wanted, if you still had camping pictures. Or you could do mountain scenery pictures. Life is made of great adventures. Again, some twine, some embellishments. There's page 1 of layout 3. And here is page 2 of layout 3. I love you to the mountains and back. We just got back from Eureka Springs, and I have some beautiful just scenery photos of the cliffs, and they're not really mountains, but to me they're mountains. And I can't wait to print those out and put those on here. So again, if you're interested in the scrapbooking class, it is $45. We make the 6 pages. So just let me know again by the 31st. Email me, comment, send me a private message, whatever you need to do, however you know how to get a hold of me. Okay, that covers card class. Here is a sneak peek of December's scrapbooking class. It's going to be autumn themed. I used the Floral Designer Series paper. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Floral something. I hate it when I can't think of something, guys. Oh, it drives me crazy. Here it is, right here. It uses the Floral Charm, this paper right here. So, again, just a sneak peek if you're tuning in and watching my videos live. And if you're ever interested, ever kind of on the, like, maybe, maybe not, let me add your email to my email address, and then at least monthly, I send out 1 email per month. Monthly, I'll send you an email, and you can make the decision on if it's something you like that month or not. So if you're ever on the fence, let me know, because I don't mind emailing, putting you on my email. I'm already sending it out, so just adding a name is no big deal. Some of the things that we've made for the Spooky Halloween series are these great treat boxes. They're full of candy and little toys. These are great size. They measure 2.5 by 2.5. So we've made some of those. We've made this cute little treat box. These are little nerds in these tester tubes. This was a cute little treat box that opens up really fun. If I get this ribbon off of here, it opens up like this. Of course, we made some of these. This suite of products came with these little treat bags and these little tags. So I put some fangs in here, some spider rings, some candy, of course. So that's it for the treat bag, treat boxes. And then we've made these cards. These were center pop-up cards that we made last week on the Facebook Live. So there's a couple of those. This one I did not make on a Facebook Live, but I wanted to show it to you. This was a real fun one to make because it's just scoring some of that designer series paper and then putting those die cuts that came with it. That was really easy and fun. We've made this fun gatefold easel card. So you open it up like that, and then this pops up like this. Isn't that cute? You guys, I love these cards. So there was 2 of those. And then for my October card class, we made this one. It did some ink blending. And then this was a little fun fold, again, using that same designer series paper. I loved that piece of paper. And then this uses one of those treat bags. We made a little shaker card. So anyway, some cute Halloween projects. And again, we're going to wrap it up this week, the last Facebook Friday, or Facebook Live, not Facebook Friday, but Facebook Live, doing this ink blending card. Let me pull it back in here. So I love ink blending. This one goes together pretty easy. So I've used a piece of our Secret C. It's not black, believe it or not, but Secret C. And this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I've cut it in half, so I've cut it at 5.5. So you can get 2 cards out of this. One piece measures 8.5 by 5.5, and we score it at 4 1/4. This is going to be our base layer. So get your bone folder and burnish that down real well. Again, sorry for the glass mat. I love using my glass mat when I do ink blending, but the glare on it drives people crazy. So I'm going to put this off to the side. You're going to need 2 4 by 5 1/4 pieces. One is going to be for the sentiment inside, and then one's going to be for our ink blending outside. So if you open this up, I did some ink blending inside, put some bats and a sentiment. And that's really all it is. Let me get that kind of out of the way. I love ink blending. I'm trying to find my, there it is right there, my Post-it notes. So these are just clear Post-it notes, and this is what I used for my masking technique, just because it was easy. But if you don't have Post-it notes, you can definitely just use a piece of paper or some tape. But this is going to kind of give us our ground, which I'm thinking is the sidewalk, and then our sky. So that's what's going to put that line there. For the sidewalk, we're going to use 2 colors. We're going to use 2 of our in colors, Cloud Cover, which, if you guys have been around, yes, I love those cards too. They are awesome, Mom. Thanks. The Cloud Cover had a problem with the ink pad. The color was not reacting very well to this kind of ink pad. so it wasn't giving the true color. So the best way to do it was to buy some ink spots and then an ink refill to get your color. So we're going to use Cloud Cover first. This is just kind of a light bluish gray. And I'm going to put some over here on my little glass mat. And I'm going to pick it up on my brush. You always want to start from off the paper and start your motion and then go up on your cardstock. And the purpose for that is that you don't get a big old blob. Because if I just took this and went down, I'd get a big old blob that I would never be able to get off. So again, pick up some ink. And this is again why I love the glass mat so much, because it's really smooth. You want to keep your darker color around the edges and your lighter color in the middle. And that's probably good right there. And then we're going to take our Secret C. We're just going to take our ink pad, put it on our mat. And I'm going to use the same blending brush, and you can do that as long as you start with the lighter color first and then go with the darker color. This would not work if I used the Secret C first and then the Cloud Cover. So again, I'm going to pick some up on my brush. And if you guys can see on this card, I kept it real light here because that light, the lights from that house that they have on are shining out, so it's lighting up the walkway. And then I kept the outside dark. This Secret C is almost black. It is darker than Night of Navy, so you don't need a whole bunch of it. Use it sparingly. And again, it doesn't take a lot. I think that's probably pretty good. You just want to make sure that you get it all blended. I always have a napkin right close to me, and even a bottle of spray water, just so that you can make sure you get your glass mat really, really cleaned off. I don't know if you can see this blue right here. But even when you think you have it clean, sometimes it's not clean. And you don't want to go sticking your Daffodil Delight, which is the next ink that we use, on your mat that has blue on it. So make sure that you get all of that ink up. And then again, we're going to come in with our Daffodil Delight. Smush that down on your glass mat. And I'm going to take these Post-it notes up. I'm going to lay them down here where this blue is. And this is going to act as our little stopping point for the sky color. So I'm going to take a different blending brush. I don't have a blending brush for each color, but I do have a blending brush that I use for the blues or the yellows or the greens. So that way I don't have to go in there and clean my brushes each and every time. Now I will say off camera, I will go in there after we're done with this live and clean all of my brushes just on a scrap piece of paper that I have, and make sure I get as much color off as possible. Okay, my Post-it notes are making this stick, so bear with me a second. Okay, again, I'm going to come off to the side And I'm just swishing it around. I'm gonna move my paper a little bit here. Pick up some more color. And I am trying to do my darkest part right here in the middle, where we were trying to go light down here. Now we want to go dark right here in the middle. I'm going to need some more Daffodil Delight, so let me put some more right there. Put some on my brush. Grab some more. And again, I'm trying to get as much down there in that one spot as I possibly can without getting a blob of it, you know, just by going like that. So again, coming in off the side, concentrating a lot of it right there. We do need to get a little bit up in this corner over here. So let me come in off of that side. Okay. I think that's pretty good, because we are going to come in with some more color on top of that. So let me, this glass mat just makes it really easy for cleanup. So again, sorry for the glare, but it's the easiest. Okay, I know this sounds really weird, but we're gonna come in with some Lemon Lime Twist. This is not a color that I normally use, but it is gonna give us our little eerie glow, because it is spooky Halloween. Gotta make, I don't know, I was up at, I wanna say it was 1 o'clock this morning, and I was letting Stella, our dog, out for the last time to go to the bathroom. And it was so foggy and eerie. It would have been the perfect trick-or-treating night. Oh, I loved it. It was like I was watching an eerie movie. Okay, so we're going to come in with our Lemon Lime Twist. And we're not really, we want to stay out of this area right here. I just kind of want to go around it. This is just going to give kind of a weird little spooky, eerie cast. You'll see it here in the background. This is a really light green. So again, our house is going to be sitting in the middle, and that's the reason why we want it to look like the lights are on in the house. We don't want the spookiness really in the house. We want it more in the sky. So that's good enough for our green. Sorry, squeakiness. Now we're going to bring in Petunia Pop. And this is actually going to make kind of the orange halo that you're seeing here in the middle. This right here, because when this Petunia Pop meets this yellowy green, that's what color you get. This is a pretty dark color, so again, you definitely want to make sure on your darker colors that you're starting in off the side and you're bringing it in. You want to come all the way down to the side, get the side. See how that kind of brings in an orangey, and you're really going to build this color up. I think the reason why I like ink blending so much is because one card is never the same. You could ink blend it the same way and get a different look each time. Again, I'm going to stay out of this area right here where our haunted house goes. So we're just concentrating on the edges to get that glow. And like I said, we're really going to build this purple up, this Petunia Pop. And yes, my shoulder hurts, my arms hurt, my hand hurts. So you kind of have to be in charge of when's enough. Did you achieve the look that you were going for? And I'm still wanting this to be really purple up here and not so much of an orangey brown. I'm going to grab some more purple. And again, pick up quite a bit of it. I'm getting cramps in my hands. Okay. And as this dry, it's going to seep into the paper more and more and more and more. Another thing, if you really did want this to be more purple than an orange, you could just bring your Daffodil Delight, your yellow, up to about here, and then just do the purple on top. Don't bring your yellow all the way to the top. So, completely up to you. I'm going to try to use up all this ink that I have right here on my glass mat though, because the more I use, the less I have to clean. Whoops, don't bend your paper. Bend that back. As your paper gets more and more ink on it, it will those fibers get more wet and wet, so be careful when you're ink blending to not rip your paper, tear your paper, all of that. Okay, I think I'm good there. So we're gonna take off our masking here. We're gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna clean my mat. And then I will get this mat out of our way so that we don't have this huge glare going on. Okay. And then let me grab a piece of our graph paper. That way if I ink blend and it goes through, it's okay. All right. Now I have already, just due to timing, I have gone ahead and I have stamped. Let me show you that. The easiest way to stamp is to put everything that you want on one block. Again, we are using the Spooky Halloween. Where did that go? Oh, there it is. So we're using this right here. Comes with this great little dog that's dressed up as Frankenstein, this little kitty cat, broom, a little Halloween pumpkin bucket. Don't worry, eat sweets. No tricks, all treats. Happy Halloween, spooky. But the great thing about these dies is that it has the little house. It's got this little fence, has these bats. This one right here is for the little pumpkin trick or treat bucket. It's got a broom. Here's your cat. Here's your dog. And then this one right here, I haven't used this one, but it is a great little, I went ahead and cut it out. It cuts like this, and then you take it and you bend it over, and this kind of makes like a page topper. What I mean by that is if you had a piece of paper or a treat bag or something, you could staple this on here and see your little bat hangs off. So I really love that die. Again, I haven't used it, but I do love it. So I don't want to forget to show you guys that die and what it does. But I did take the dog, the cat, the broom, the pumpkin, and I stamped it all on one piece of paper. My paper kind of tore, but you can see here, I stamped it all on there at the same time, and then I took my die cuts and put all my die cuts down with little post-it notes to keep all the dies in the right spot, or a little masking tape either way. That way the dies would not shift. And I ran it all through and die cut it all out at once. So just a time saver, just a little tip trick there. But let's color these guys. I'm trying to, okay, there it is. I was like, where's the broom? Where's my broom? I did use an assortment of blends. I've used the dark and light cloud cover. I did that for her little stockings on the cat. The dark and the light fresh freesia for her shirt. The dark peach pie and light peach pie for the cat itself. And I also used some light daffodil for her nose. I also used a little bit of the Pretty in Pink for her nose and her little ears. And then I did the light petunia pop on his sucker. And then some light daffodil delight and some light crumb cake for the broom. And then for him, I did the dark and light granny apple green for the shirt, and this little, for some stockings, just a little, the stockings are kind of like, words are escaping me, striped. Good grief. So I did one stripe in the dark and light granny apple, and then I did the shorts and another stripe in the dark and light lemon lime twist. To color him, I used the dark and light crumb cake, and then he's got some little bolts here for the Frankenstein and the patch, and I did that in the light and dark gray granite. So again, the dark and light peach pie for the pumpkin. I think that covers it all. I used a lot of blends, and I did stamp all of that, all of these little guys in the Memento ink, which is great for the blends for the alcohol ink. So let me color these guys real quick. Again, let's start with the dark and light crumb cake. I always use the smaller point. This is a bigger point. I don't use that very often unless I have a bigger spot to cover. But I'm just taking my light, giving him a good all over wash. I'm going to stay out of the little patch on his eye. And the great thing about our blends, if you've never used them before, you can be a scribbler. It is okay. Got his neck right there. I'm gonna get his arms and his hands. And that's it for that. Then I'm gonna come in here with our dark. And I'm just gonna go where all the shadowing, the shading would be. I'm gonna go underneath his hairline, up under his ear a little bit, up under his neck a little bit, probably a little bit under his nose right here, maybe a little bit right there, a little bit over here on his. This is just to give you some shading, some depth. I'm gonna come back in here with my light again and just blend all of that. His arms and hands are really a little bit too small to do any shading on. But I am gonna go back over them, even though I don't have anything to blend out. I'm gonna just put a little bit of a layer. I'm not gonna do the whole thing because I do want some shading there, but I'm just gonna do it with my light crumb cake and not my dark. So that's it for the doggy as far as coloring him. Again, this is the light petunia pop, and I'm just gonna do his little sucker, and I'm gonna go over a couple of times the little swirl just to make it darker. And I might actually even bring in, I'm gonna grab my light berry burst. Yeah, it doesn't really make that big of a difference, but okay. Now for his shirt, the dark and light Granny Apple Green. So again, I'm starting with the light. I'm gonna do an all over wash. I don't do too many videos where I have to do a lot of coloring. I know that's kind of boring for you guys to watch. You either love it or hate it. Some people love it. And if I were probably doing this card on my own and not for a live, I would probably spend a little bit more time and blend a little bit better. But I don't want to bore you guys. So again, just coming in here where the shirt would probably be a little bit darker, you know, like under the neckline, kind of by the armpits. And then I'm going to come back in again with my lighter color, blend that all out. Oh, and let me not forget, I'm going to take, this is the light. I'm going to come in here and do that top stripe on his little leggings, his socks, and just add a little bit of dark to one side and then kind of blend that out. I'm going to take the dark and lemon lime twist, the dark and light, and again start with a light. Lay a whole color down, come back with my dark, and again up there kind of where the shirt's going to overhang a little bit, maybe, you know, in between the legs, just make it a little bit darker, and then come back in with my light and blend that out. And then I'm going to do this other little stripe on his sock. And I'm not going to worry about going in with the dark on that because there's not much of that stripe there. Okay, this is the dark and light gray granite. And he's got some little bolts here on either side of his neck. And then I'm going to get this little patch on his eye. That was in the light. Now I'm going to come back in with the dark, and these little bolts have kind of two little parts to it. Touch up his little eye patch, and again I'm going to blend that a little bit. Not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot of area. Okay, that is it for the little doggy. Let's move on to the little kitty. I'm going to come in here with some of my light Daffodil Delight. I'm going to put this kind of on her little nose area, her little ears, maybe on the inner part of her tail, maybe right there by the top part of her hands, kind of where the light would be showing. And then I'm going to come in here with some light peach pie and kind of go over the tail area, letting some of that yellow shine through. I'm going to bring that up in her ears on the edges. Kind of do like the little, where the stamp has already made the dark lines around her nose, her muzzle. And then come in here on her hands. I am going to grab my light Pretty in Pink and just come in here on her ears by her hat and her little bitty nose. And then I'm going to take the dark peach pie and come again a little bit on the outside of the tail, a little bit up on her ears, more towards the knuckles of the hands and the fingers where it might be darker. And then I'm coming back in with my light peach pie. Whoops, wrong side. I'm going to blend the ears out, the hands out, her little tail. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here and do a whole wash on her face. I'm going to come back in with the light Daffodil Delight. Do her nose a little bit. I'm going to I want to keep some of that yellow in that nose area. Come around back to the top part of the ears. And then I'm going to take my dark peach pie and I'm going to kind of come in here like under the neck area, underneath the hat area, maybe kind of underneath her little muzzle. Maybe a little bit on the sides of her face, just to give it some depth. And then one more time with my light peach pie, a once over. Trying to speed up the process for you guys. A little bit more on the ears. And coming into that little muzzle just a little bit more. Okay. I think we're good on the cat itself. Let's go in with the light and the dark fresh freesia. I'm going to do a once over for her top and skirt. Are you guys ready for Halloween? I know my grandkids are, and it's supposed to rain. I hope it doesn't rain. We usually do a big haunted house. It takes a whole day to set it up. My husband has to work this year, so no haunted house this year. But I'm really hoping that the kiddos, this is the dark fresh freesia. I'm hoping that the kiddos at least get to go out there and trick or treat some without the rain. Again, just putting it kind of where the areas would be darker. So, you know, like around the little sleeve area, kind of in the armpit area, underneath the top part, maybe on some part of the ruffle. This, again, is just to give it some dimension so that when you look at it, it doesn't look flat. Come back in with my light and give it one more little once over. Okay. And then her little stockings, I forgot to do those. Oh, no I didn't. I don't need that, I need the blue. So here's the cloud cover, here's the light. And I'm just gonna do a once over all the stocking. Her little leggings. And then I'm gonna take the dark and I'm gonna come in here and just do some shading to one side. There we go. And that is it for the little kitty, the broom. Where's my pumpkin? There's my pumpkin. Okay, the pumpkin, I'm gonna bring back in my light Daffodil Delight. Hi, Aunt Pat, how are you? I didn't see you pop on. I hope you're still on here. Sorry, I was so busy coloring I wasn't looking. Thank you. Then I'm gonna take my crumb cake. And I'm just going to come in here and do some shading where the artist has already given us some lines. And then I'm going to do my pumpkin, bring back in the light peach pie, give it a once over. Take the dark, go over the lines a little bit. And I think we're done with all of our coloring. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, bring back in our card. I am going to just take just a clean towel Try to wipe off any residue. I've got this little dot here that I'm hoping our haunted house will cover up. Maybe if I lay it in the right spot, yeah, I can do it. My house won't be in the middle, but that's okay. Let's see, maybe if I move it a little bit towards that way. That's even better. There we go. Okay. So see how the Daffodil Delight right there in the middle, just really, it's like the lights in the houses, the light in the house is on. So I'm going to take some of my liquid green glue. This is just the green capped Tombow Mono multi-liquid glue in my little precision tip bottle. I'm going to put some of that kind of just down around the edges. You don't want to put too much. You don't want it seeping out everywhere. Oh. Put some up here. Some over here. Okay. Think that's good. I'm going to take my little tweezers. Try not to get glue all over my hand. There's a little, there we go. Okay. Lay that down kind of on that line that we created. Press that in. I'm going to take my little fence that we've already cut out here. I die cutted all of this just to save us some time. Well, you know what, I'm not going to worry about that because that's going to get cut off anyway. So we're going to lay this fence down here. I'm going to grab my silicone mat here because I'm putting glue in small spots. And that way if I get any glue over here on the side of my graph paper, nothing sticks to it and I don't have a huge mess. Again, a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to take this line of fencing right here and put it right there on that line. I'm covering up this little line that we have in between the sky and what I'm going to call our sidewalk. So there's one there. Let me grab this one. And put it down. Oh, I did the wrong side. That wasn't smart. Okay. And again, a little bit of this glue goes a long way. You don't need too much of it. And then we're going to take our scissors, little paper snips. I'm going to flip this over and I'm just going to cut that off and this off. And I'm not going to worry too much about the black pieces right here hanging off to the side because it can hang off onto our card base. Okay. Then we're going to take, almost done, sorry, going over. It's a good thing I had all of these pre-cut. We're going to take our bats and take our little dimensionals. These are our minis. And we're going to take one and put one right here. I'm going to take my tweezers so I can try to get that placement just right. There's barely enough room for those little dimensionals on those bats. Take this one. peel off the back. Put one there. Put one here. Like they're flying out of the house. And we're going to take our regular dimensionals. And I'm going to put 2 on our little kitty kitty. Two on our little doggy. I'm going to stick our kitty cat kind of over here to this side. Stick our little doggy. Let me bring him back in so that you guys can see what I'm making. Gonna put him over here. And then this broom, if I can get it down here, I'm gonna take a little dimensional. Pop it up. Put that little dimensional right there. I'm gonna kind of act like that broomstick is in her hand. And then I'm gonna take a little dimensional for our pumpkin. These minis come in handy, that's for sure. And then stick it right here like he's holding it. And then we're gonna take some of our little black foam puffy stars. This is an embellishment that came with the kit, with the spooky sweet. And I'm just going to take some big ones, some small ones, and just kind of place it around. Cover that little dot. I'm not really sure what that little dot was there in the purple. But I don't know, have you guys, can you tell from when I first, I don't want a big one again, I want a small one. Want one right up there. Can you tell how that has really darkened up and it's not so much brown anymore? It's now more of a purple. Once that ink just starts to lay into that paper, it really does change the coloring. So there's the front of our card. Now I am going to, because I kind of forgot when I was ink blending, I'm going to bring my cloud cover back out. Actually, I may have enough on my brush still. I'm gonna, yeah, I do. This had the cloud cover in the Secret Sea. I'm just gonna come up on, whoops, not bend your paper. That's not what you want to do. I'm going to come in on both sides, both corners. And then I'm going to take my bats. Where's my stamp? Here it is right here. And I think I used, did I use black? Yeah, I did. I'll take my black Memento. Put some bats down here. Make it spooky. Put some up there. And then the stamp saying that I really like, that I've been using a lot, is out of the Words for the season. I love this Have a Spooktacular Halloween. This was a great stamp set because it had something for Christmas, had something for Thanksgiving, it has something for New Year's, even graduation. You could use that let's toast to yesterday's achievements and tomorrow's bright future. So to me, this was a great stamp set for a lot of the seasons. So I'm going to use this Have a Spooktacular Halloween instead of the Happy Halloween, but you could definitely use one of these sentiments if you wanted. These are our red rubber stamps. They are going away. We're no longer going to have anything with red rubber. It's all going to be the clear photopolymer. Hopefully I can get this straight. Straight enough. It is a Halloween card, so it doesn't have to be straight. I'm going to take this and flip it over. I like watching you put it all together. Oh, thanks, Mom. It does come together sometimes, especially when you're ink blending and coloring. Kind of looks like a hot mess during part of it, but pull back in my card base that I had, and I'm going to stand up so that I can make sure I get this in here straight. With an even side border all the way around. And then this one I'm just going to bring in, and I'm going to flip this over, put some adhesive on it. Oh, I'm out of stuff. Hold on. Let me just I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal. This is great adhesive. If you only make cards, the Stampin' Seal is great, but I do a lot of scrapbooking, so I would go through one of these really fast, which is why I use my ATG gun. But that Stampin' Up! Stampin' Seal Plus it's good stuff. Just gonna layer that on here, press it down, and voila. There is your finished card. Hope you guys love it as much as I do. I love ink blending and scene cards, and that's just that and treat boxes. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Hopefully you guys are ready for Halloween. I've showed you guys a lot of different cards, a lot of treat boxes that you guys can give to your special trick-or-treaters. So you guys have a wonderful and fabulous week, a spooktacular Friday, happy Halloween, and we'll see you back here next weekend. I'm not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday, but we'll kick off our Thanksgiving cards. So thanks for stopping by. You're welcome, Mom. See you later. Bye-bye.